Let's have a view of the contour panel. Let's start with the keypad underneath the screen. This is the start button. And this is the stop button. These arrow keys allow you to move the pantograph manually. The center button, you can set up the speed of the movement of the pantograph. These two buttons allow you to move the sewing head manually, needle by needle. This button allows you to trace your design before you start stitching your project. We always recommend to trace your design in outline check. This button is called Task Shift and allows you to move from open windows in your screen to the main screen. In the lower side of the screen, we have 15 icons displayed in group of 5. Using the arrow keys, you can move between these icons. From left to right, we call the first icon the embroidery mode. You will turn it on when you are ready for embroider, or you will turn it off when you want to load a new design, or when you want to change parameters for that design. To turn it on or off, simply press the button and confirm. The next icon is called the float mode. If you wish to go forward without stitching, this is the function to do so. By pressing the icon once, 2 arrows will appear next to the needle. Then press the start button. You will see in the screen that the design is going forward in fast mode without stitching. In order to stop the process, press the stop button. If you wish to go backwards, press and hold the stop button, and the design will go backwards without stitching. If you wish to do the process in slow mode, press the icon until 1 arrow appears next to the needle. Then press the start button, and the design will go forward without stitching in slow mode. To stop the process, simply press the stop button. In order to go backwards, simply press and hold the stop button. To set up your machine in stitch mode, press the icon until the arrow pointing up and down appears next to the needle, and your machine will be ready to stitch. The next icon is where you can set up your machine as auto, semi-automatic, and manual color change. When you see the icon with the arrow pointing up and down, that means that your machine is now set it up in automatically color change. That is how you want to keep your machine for regular operation. When you press the icon once and the up and down arrow disappears from the icon, it means that the machine is now set it up in semi-automatically color change. Which means that when the machine is running and detects a color change, the machine will stop, will trim, and it will go to the next color program, and it will wait for you to hit start in order to continue stitching. This feature is pretty handy for applique projects. Now, if you press the button until the letter M appears in the icon, it means that your machine is now on manual color change, which means that the machine will stop every time it detects a color change. It will wait for you to manually move the sewing head to the next color you wish to embroider. Then you will need to press the start button in order to continue stitching. To set up your machine as automatically color change, press the icon until the up and down arrow appear next to the needle. That is how you use your machine on regular operation. The next icon is called Design Management. By pressing this icon, you can recall any design stored in machine's memory. In order to use this function, your embroidery mode must be off. Press the icon and all the designs stored in memory will display on the screen. Then select the design you wish to embroider. Then press the needle and the flower icon. A message will display asking if you want to move the pantograph to the starting point. If you haven't saved the starting point for this design, say no. How to save the starting point on any design will be discussed in another video. Turn your embroidery mode on and your design will be ready to stitch out. The next icon is Parameter Setting. In order to change any design parameters, your embroidery mode must be off. Otherwise, the prohibited circles will display on the screen and you are not going to be able to modify any design parameters. By pressing this icon, the parameter setup will display on screen, and here you will find design parameters like design scaling up and down, design rotation, design direction, which will be very often used for caps, and many others. As well as you can find many machine parameters. When you press the right arrow, the second group of 5 icons will display. From left to right, the first icon is called Color Sequence Management. By pressing this icon, the color management window will display. And here you will be able to modify the color sequence of your design. The next icon is called the 100-degree main shaft. Every time your machine stops, it will stop at 100-degree main shaft. If you press the start button and this message appears in the screen, it means that the main shaft is not at 100 degree. Also, you can confirm this on the status icons on top of the screen. In order to move the main shaft automatically, you will press the 100 main shaft icon. The machine will move one cycle and it will stop at 100 degree. The next icon is called Manual Color Changing. In here you can manually move your sewing head to any needle that you want. The next icon is called Back to Origin. If you are embroidering and you decide to cancel the progress of the design, press the icon and then confirm. The design will go to the starting point as well as the pantograph. The next icon is called Back to Stop. This is a pretty handy feature for applique projects. When you are stitching your applique projects, normally you stitch a run stitch to create a pattern. That will help us to know where to place the piece of fabric. With the back to stop feature, you can move the pantograph towards you and easily place the fabric into the pattern. After you have placed the fabric into the pattern, press the back to stop icon and then confirm it. Pantograph will go back exactly to the position where it was left. Then press the start button and you can continue your applique project. If you press the right arrow icon, the third group of 5 icons will display. From left to right, the first icon is called Manual Trim. If you wish that the machine perform a trim, simply press the icon and then press the first option. The next icon is called Disk Management. And here is where you can load designs from your USB thumb drive. Insert your USB thumb drive into the port of the machine. Then press the Disk Management icon. Then press the USB icon. The design stored on the USB thumb drive will display on the screen of the machine. Then select the design you wish to load. And then press the Book icon. Press the OK button and the design will be transferred from the USB thumb drive into the machine's memory. And then press the Exit icon. Now you will need to recall the design from memory. The next icon is called Assistant Operation. In here you can find many functions and probably the most frequently used is going to be Save Design Starting Point. The next icon is called Other Functions. By pressing this icon, the system will have access to Other Functions interface, where a user can perform the operations such as languages, machine test, date and time configuration, and many other functions. And the last icon is a question mark, and it's called Help. It contains general information and instructions of all the icons on this control panel.